The Nakamura Automotive headquarters gleamed like a temple to wealth, floor-to-ceiling windows, Italian marble floors, and a showroom filled with luxury vehicles that cost more than most people earned in a lifetime. Raj Sharma wiped his grease-stained hands on his coveralls and tried not to feel out of place as he wheeled his tool cart through the service entrance. He was here for one reason, an emergency engine repair on a rare vintage Nissan Skyline that had broken down during a corporate event. The dealership's regular mechanics had looked at it and declared it beyond their expertise. Someone had remembered that Raj, who worked at a small independent garage across town, had a reputation for solving impossible problems. What they hadn't mentioned was that the car belonged to Kenji Nakamura himself, the billionaire CEO of Nakamura Automotive's entire Asia-Pacific division. "You're the mechanic?" A woman in an impeccable cream suit appeared, her expression skeptical as she took in Raj's oil-stained shirt and worn work pants. She spoke in rapid Japanese to the men behind her, and though Raj understood every word, he kept his expression neutral. "He looks like he just crawled out from under a truck," one of the executives muttered in Japanese. "Did anyone verify his credentials?" another asked. "Nakamura-san will be furious if this man damages the Skyline." The woman, apparently the operations director, turned back to Raj and spoke in heavily accented English. "You fix engine? Understand?" Raj nodded politely. "Yes, ma'am, I understand." She led him into the main showroom, where a gleaming white 1973 Skyline GTR sat on a platform, its hood already open. Around it stood at least a dozen people in expensive suits, executives, engineers, and in the center, a distinguished man in his 60s, with silver hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Kenji Nakamura." The billionaire was speaking in rapid Japanese, gesturing at the engine with obvious frustration. "This car has been in my family for 40 years. My father bought it new. It's irreplaceable. And these fools want me to believe this. This local mechanic can fix what trained engineers cannot?" "Nakamura-san, he comes highly recommended," the operations director said nervously in Japanese. "The repair shop said he solved problems that seemed impossible." "Fine. But I want to watch. If he makes one wrong move, he's done." Nakamura's voice carried the authority of a man used to absolute obedience. Raj approached the engine, ignoring the whispers around him. He'd heard it all before. The assumptions, the condescension, the surprise that a man with brown skin and calloused hands could possibly understand complex machinery. Let them think what they wanted. The engine would tell him everything he needed to know. He spent 10 minutes examining the inline six, running his fingers along connections, listening to the silence where sound should be, checking tolerances and clearances with instruments from his tool cart. The executives grew restless, checking their watches, muttering to each other in Japanese. "He's just standing there," one complained. "Does he even know what he's looking at?" "Maybe we should call the dealership in Tokyo," another suggested. Raj continued his examination, unbothered. Then he found it. A hairline crack in the fuel distributor housing, nearly invisible, but enough to cause a pressure leak that would prevent the engine from running properly. It was a part that hadn't been manufactured in 30 years. He straightened, turned to face the group, and spoke clearly in perfect, formal Japanese. "Nakamura-san, I've found the problem. There's a crack in the fuel distributor housing. The part is no longer manufactured, but I can fabricate a repair using a specialized welding technique and pressure testing. It will take approximately 4 hours and will restore the engine to full functionality." The showroom went dead silent. Every executive's mouth fell open. The operations director actually stumbled backward, and Kenji Nakamura's eyes widened in complete shock. "You speak Japanese," Nakamura said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Hi, Nakamura-san," Raj replied, maintaining the respectful formal register. "I apologize for not mentioning it earlier. I learned from my sensei, Master Tanaka Hiroshi, when I apprenticed in Yokohama for 3 years. He taught me that understanding a culture means understanding its language, and understanding a car means understanding the culture that built it." One of the younger executives laughed nervously. Did he hear everything we said? Raj met the man's eyes calmly. Yes. You said I looked like I crawled out from under a truck. You're not wrong, I often do. It's where the real work happens. The executive's face turned crimson. Nakamura studied Raj with new intensity. Tanaka Hiroshi. I know that name. He was a legendary master mechanic. Worked for Nissan's racing division in the 1980s. Yes, sir. He retired to Yokohama and opened a small restoration shop. I worked for him from 2018 to 2021, learning traditional Japanese engineering techniques. He specialized in vintage Nissan engines, particularly the S20 engine in your Skyline. How did you end up working for Tanaka-san? Nakamura asked, and now his tone held genuine curiosity rather than dismissal. I wrote him a letter, Raj said simply, in Japanese. I told him I wanted to learn from the best, that I understood it would mean starting at the bottom, cleaning floors, organizing tools, watching for months before I'd be allowed to touch an engine. He wrote back and said anyone willing to learn with humility was welcome. Nakamura's expression softened almost imperceptibly. That sounds like something Tanaka-san would say. He valued character over credentials. He taught me that every engine has a spirit, Raj continued. That rushing leads to mistakes, and that truly understanding a machine means listening to what it's trying to tell you. That's why I took my time examining your Skyline. I wanted to hear what it was saying. And what was it saying? Nakamura asked. That it's been loved. Maintained with care. Driven with respect. Raj gestured to the engine. The crack in the distributor housing happened. Because of metal fatigue. Unavoidable. After 50 years. But everything else shows meticulous maintenance. Whoever has cared for this car understood its value. My father maintained it until he died, Nakamura said quietly. Then I took over. This car represents his legacy, his belief that quality and craftsmanship matter more than profit margins. Raj bowed respectfully. Your father had wisdom. And Tanaka-sensei would say that this car carries his spirit. It would be my honor to help preserve it. Nakamura turned to his operations director and spoke in Japanese. Clear the showroom. Give this man the space and time he needs, and bring him whatever tools or materials he requires. But Nakamura-san, we have the board meeting. Cancel it. I'm staying to watch a masterwork. Nakamura pulled over a chair and sat down. Proceed, Sharma-san. Over the next 4 hours, Raj worked with focused precision while Kenji Nakamura watched in silence. The executives had been dismissed, leaving just the two of them in the vast showroom, a billionaire and a mechanic. Separated by wealth but connected by respect for craftsmanship, Raj fabricated a repair sleeve for the cracked housing, using a tungsten welding technique Tanaka had taught him. He pressure tested each connection, adjusted fuel mixture ratios, and calibrated timing with the patience of a watchmaker. As he worked, he explained each step in Japanese, and Nakamura listened with the attention of a student. Tanaka-san taught you well, Nakamura observed as Raj reassembled the distributor. You work like the old masters, no wasted motion, every action deliberate. He used to say that a mechanic's hands should move like water, flowing around problems, finding the path of least resistance, but strong enough to reshape metal when necessary. He told me something similar once many years ago. I was young, arrogant, newly promoted. I thought I understood everything about cars, because I'd studied engineering at MIT. Nakamura smiled at the memory. Tanaka-san showed me a carburetor and asked me to explain how it worked. I gave him the technical explanation. Venturi effect. Fuel atomization, air-fuel ratios. He listened politely, then asked, But do you understand it? I was insulted. Of course I understood it. I just explained it perfectly. What did he say? Raj asked, carefully torquing a bolt to exact specifications. He said, You understand the theory, but you don't understand the spirit. Theory tells you how something should work. Spirit tells you how it actually works, the personality of each engine, the quirks, the ways it communicates problems before they become failures. Then he made me spend 3 months doing nothing but listening to engines. Just listening. No tools, no repairs, only listening. Did you learn to hear them? Eventually. And it changed everything. Changed how I ran this company, how I made decisions, how I led people. Nakamura leaned forward. That's why I'm sitting here now, watching you. Because when you examined my father's car, you listened first. Most mechanics would have started replacing parts immediately, throwing solutions at the problem until something worked. But you listened. You understood. Raj finished the final adjustment and stepped back. Ready to test, Nakamura-san? Nakamura stood, approached the car with something approaching reverence. He slid into the driver's seat, his hands resting on the steering wheel for a moment before turning the key. The S-20 engine roared to life, not the rough misfiring sound from before, but a perfect, harmonious symphony of mechanical precision. The deep rumble filled the showroom, and Raj saw tears glisten in Nakamura's eyes. The billionaire let the engine run for a full minute before shutting it off. When he emerged from the car, his composure was back in place, but something had shifted in his expression. Sharma-san, how much do I owe you for this repair? My shop charges $300 for emergency service calls plus parts and labor. Given the specialized nature of the repair, probably $600 total. Nakamura pulled out his phone, typed something, and within seconds, Raj's phone buzzed. He checked it and nearly dropped it. A transfer notification, $50,000. Nakamura-san, this is too much. That's not payment for the repair, Nakamura interrupted. That's a signing bonus. I'm offering you a position as master technician for our vintage restoration division. Salary of $150,000 per year, full benefits, and the resources to work on the finest cars in our collection. You'll train our engineers in the old techniques, the ones being lost as the masters retire or die. You'll help preserve automotive history. Raj stared at him. I don't understand. I've spent the last 4 hours watching you work. You have technical skill. Yes, but more importantly, you have something that can't be taught. You have respect. For the craft, for the machines, for the legacy they represent. Nakamura placed a hand on the Skyline's hood. My father believed that how you treat the things entrusted to you reveals your character. You treated his car, my car, like it mattered. Like it had a soul worth preserving. That's rare. That's valuable. That's what this company needs. But I'm just a mechanic from a small garage. Tanaka Hiroshi was just a mechanic too, Nakamura said gently. Until people recognized his genius. I'm not making this offer because I pity you, Sharma-san. I'm making it because I need you. This company has become obsessed with quarterly profits and market share. We've forgotten what my father and men like. Tanaka-san understood that cars are more than machines. They're art, they're history. They're the physical manifestation of human ingenuity and passion. Raj thought about his small garage, his modest income, the constant struggle to pay rent and keep equipment maintained. He thought about the assumption he faced daily, that his brown skin and accented English meant he was less capable, less intelligent, less worthy of respect. And he thought about Tanaka-sensei, who'd looked past all of that and seen only a young man willing to learn. I accept, Raj said. On one condition. Nakamura raised an eyebrow. Name it. I want to create a scholarship program. For young mechanics from disadvantaged backgrounds, any country who want to learn traditional techniques. I want to give them the opportunity Tanaka-sensei gave me. Nakamura smiled, a real smile, warm and genuine. Done. I'll fund it personally. We'll call it the Tanaka Hiroshi Heritage Scholarship. They shook hands and Raj felt the weight of the moment. How many people had walked past him, dismissing him as just another laborer? How many had heard his accent and assumed he was less educated, less skilled, less valuable? And how a single act, speaking Japanese, demonstrating knowledge, showing respect, had shattered every assumption in seconds. Sharma-san, Nakamura said as they walked toward his office to discuss details. May I ask why you didn't tell anyone you spoke Japanese from the beginning? Raj considered the question. Because I learned a long time ago that people reveal their true character when they think you don't understand them. The executives who mocked me, who doubted me, they showed me who they really are. But you, Nakamura-san, you gave me a chance despite your doubts. You valued the work over your assumptions. That told me everything I needed to know about your character. Nakamura laughed, a sound of genuine delight. Tanaka-san taught you more than mechanics, I see. He taught you wisdom. He taught me that language is more than words, Raj agreed. There's the language we speak and the language we embody. Respect, humility, dedication. Those are languages everyone understands, even without words. Then welcome to Nakamura Automotive, Sharma-san. I think you're going to teach us all something valuable. As they disappeared into the executive offices, the Skyline sat cooling on the showroom floor, its engine purring softly, a 50-year-old machine brought back to life by a poor mechanic who'd shocked a billionaire simply by refusing to be invisible. And somewhere in Yokohama, Raj liked to imagine Tanaka Hiroshi was smiling.